Hello, my name's Scott Perry. I'm a professional magician and this is a magic review.
It's a kind of magic.
Today we're looking at Nothing, specifically Nothing Gen 3. So Nothing is a smoke device by Wenzie, Bondley and MS Magic. They did have a Nothing 2.0 and then they had previously before that the original Nothing device. So without further ado, the too long didn't read is basically this is definitely an improvement on the previous Nothing 2.0, and I dare say that this is the best concealed smoke device currently on the Magic market. So if you have £150 or $200 and you would like to get a smoke device, my suggestion would be that this is the one to get at the moment as of the time of posting this review. But let's get into a few of the details with Nothing Gen 3. First point is, what is it? I've explained very briefly. Nothing is a smoke device. It's a concealed smoke device. It's extremely small, and that's essentially what it is. It's a small device that creates smoke in your hands or around an object, or you can put it in a box or something like that. So yes, quite simply, that's what Nothing Gen 3 is, a smoke device. But what do you receive with Nothing Gen 3? Well, you receive the smoke device itself, you receive a remote control, and you also receive a few other bits. You receive a separate nozzle cap for the smoke device, which I'll go into shortly. You receive an amount of liquid for you to use that will create the smoke. You receive a charging cable, which is USB-C to micro USB. You receive a couple of other bits. There's a bracelet or a strap, and also they supply you with a few, it looks like two, more coils for the heating element for when they do eventually wear out. That's what you receive with Nothing Gen 3. You also receive it's not in here, you receive a card with a URL which will take you to the video instructions on Vimeo. The instructions are downloadable. They are only about 8.5 minutes long. They don't give you any routines. They don't give you any kind of advice on how to use it magically, but they do take you through everything, every important detail that you need to know about the device itself. What you do with that is up to you, and that's your creativity, and that's what you can come up with. So that's what you receive with Nothing Gen 3. How easy is it? It's easy. You know, you press the button and, oh, it's not on. Amateur mistake. You press the button and you get smoke. It's that simple. And you stop pressing the button and it stops producing smoke. So yes, incredibly easy. 0 out of 10 skill level. It does everything that you need it to do on its own with the press of a button. Again, reset time is a little bit redundant, but there is an important point to make here with the reset time, and that's the fact that you will only get between 5 or 10, roughly, approximately, puffs of smoke for each use until you need to refill some of the liquid on the heater coil. So that is something to bear in mind, that if you want to be performing this from table to table or group to group or something like that, or regularly at a trade show, something like this, every half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you will have to add a little bit more of the smoke fluid that they give you, the vapor fluid, and that will need to be replenished every now and then. So that pretty much covers the reset time. Other than that, there is no reset time involved other than refilling the fluid. Angles, again, it's something that I like to cover in every review, but a little bit redundant here. There are no angle requirements. You can put this in something, you can have it with the wrist strap, you can, the point is with this that it should be concealed. There's no real angle requirements. Pocket space is one of the final points before we get onto my general thoughts about the product. And the pocket space is, as you can see, very small. It's very minimal. So I'll show you in comparison to a standard poker-sized playing card. So you can see it's, I think, less than a quarter of the card. And to kind of demonstrate the thickness or the width of the device, it very easily fits inside a pack of playing cards. So the width of the device is slightly less than the internal width of a deck of poker-sized playing cards. That's the pocket space that you're dealing with. The remote control is very thin, very small, as you can see, about, I would guess, just under half of a playing card, the remote control is. And again, very thin. So in terms of pocket space, it's going to take up almost nothing. And of course, this isn't going to be in your pocket. It's going to be in something like a card box that you want to produce smoke from, or it's going to be attached to your wrist, or it's going to be attached to you somewhere. So yes, in terms of pocket space, very, very minimal. And that brings us on to my final thoughts of the product, which, as I started with the TLDR in this review, that this probably is the best smoke device on the market currently. And it is really fantastic. How long this will last, I don't know. Will it break? Will it need repairing? I can't tell you that yet. So we don't know how long term these devices will last. You know, traditionally with previous smoke devices, they've been riddled with problems. They only last maybe a month or 6 months, and then they break, and then you're left with a device that the Illusionist or another company, they won't repair it, or they will send you a new one, which will eventually break as well. So I think this is very reliable. It's very quiet as well. I think in pretty much every scenario you can think of, no one's going to hear this. So that's good. Also, there are a couple small points that I should make. The remote control has a small piece of plastic that prevents you, so it slides on just like this, and that prevents you from clicking it or using up all of the battery by mistake if it's in your bag of magic tricks, if it's in your case or whatever, and it gets sandwiched between two things. It won't wear down the battery with this safety harness on, I guess, safety clip on it. Also, with the remote control, you press it down, and unlike the unlike the Nothing 2.0, that had two different settings. So that had a setting where if you just tapped it once, a period of smoke would come out, would be produced, maybe 3 seconds or something. And then if you held it, you would get constant smoke. So this only comes with one setting, and that's as long as you are pressing down this button, the remote control, you will get smoke. Another important point is that when I first received this, the clicker, when I would click it, would get stuck. So you do have to work in this clicker a little bit, and you do have to use it and play around with it for a while, because you don't want it getting stuck on the burning setting or the heating setting, the smoke setting, when you're at a gig or when you're performing to someone. So do make sure that you work this in a bit. The plastic is, where it's been cut and where it's been manufactured, does need softening up. So make sure you play with that a little bit. And I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts on Nothing Gen 3. Oh, also one final point that I think is really fantastic, and I haven't seen any other smoke device do this before, but they include two tops for this. And what I mean by tops are these caps. So this, let's turn it on again. This, in the instructions, Bond Lee takes you through it, and he calls these nozzles. So this nozzle is facing upwards and will send the smoke upwards that way. So depending on how you have it attached to yourself, that goes upwards. But what if you don't want the smoke to go directly upwards, or directly out of your sleeve, or if you have it in your hand in finger palm, what if you don't want the smoke to be coming out of your hand upwards? Well, he's come up with a solution with that. This just pops off, and they have another option that's included with it, which instead of sending the smoke outwards, or sorry, upwards, it sends it outwards. So that clips on there, and you can see the exit hole for the smoke is actually sideways rather than upwards. So in this situation, in a finger palm situation, the smoke would look much more natural because it's coming out like this rather than looking like it's being blown out topwards. So you get a much better, much more realistic effect of smoke being created. And I think that was an incredibly good touch to include two different nozzles for two different directions of flow for smoke. But that is pretty much it. Like I said in the beginning of the review, the TLDR, if you have roughly £150 or $200, currently this is the smoke device to get. So yes, that's my review. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment below. I'll get back to you, as soon as I can. I am, like I say at the beginning of every video, a full-time professional working magician. So sometimes it's going to be days or potentially a week or so until I can reply to these comments, but I will get around to them when possible. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it gave you the information that you need to purchase or not to purchase Nothing Gen 3. But it is a fantastic product. Fingers crossed that this is the first smoke product in a while that lasts a really long time, because if it does last a really long time, then I would say it's value for money and it's the best smoke device on the market. Who knows though, time will tell. You never know with these kinds of electronic devices. But that's it, that's my review for Nothing Gen 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.